Have you ever felt tired before the day even begins? Not because your body is weak, but because your mind has already lived through 100 problems before breakfast. Have you ever lain in bed at night, staring into the dark, replaying conversations, imagining disasters, worrying about what someone meant, what tomorrow may bring, what could go wrong, what you should have said, what you should have done, until your own thoughts begin to feel like a prison? What if the problem is not that you think too much, but that your mind has never been taught where to place its strength? This is not weakness. This is strength waiting for discipline. This is not proof that you are broken. This is proof that your mind is powerful, sensitive, alert, and alive. But a powerful mind without direction becomes a storm. A powerful mind with discipline becomes peace. Most people try to escape worry by distracting themselves. They scroll, they eat, they complain, they search for reassurance. But you are here because some part of you knows there is a deeper way, a stronger way, a quieter way. The Stoics understood this over 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while facing war, betrayal, sickness, and death. Epictetus was born a slave, yet became one of the freest minds in history. Seneca lived surrounded by wealth and danger, yet kept returning to one question: what belongs to me, and what does not? They did not live easy lives. They lived trained lives. They knew that peace is not found by controlling the world. Peace is found by mastering the part of you that keeps begging the world to be different. Today, you will discover 8 ancient Stoic habits that can help you stop worrying, calm your mind, and become the kind of person who does not collapse every time life becomes uncertain. Stay until the end, because the final habit is the one most people ignore, yet it is the one that can make your mind almost impossible to disturb. If this resonates, Amor, think about the last time your mind created a disaster before anything actually happened. Maybe someone did not reply to your message, and suddenly you imagined rejection. Maybe your boss sounded cold, and suddenly you imagined losing your job. Maybe you made one mistake, and suddenly your mind turned it into a whole identity. Most people let imagination become punishment. They suffer twice, once in the mind, and once in reality, if the event ever happens at all. But you can learn to use imagination differently. The Stoics practiced what Seneca called preparing the mind for difficulty, not because they were negative, but because they wanted to become free. Seneca said that the person who has anticipated trouble removes its power when it arrives. Imagine waking up and calmly asking, what may test me today? Not with fear, with dignity. Someone may be rude. Something may go wrong. A plan may fail. A person may disappoint me. And if it happens, I will not be surprised. I will not be owned by it. I will meet it as training. Most people think preparation means planning every detail, but you understand, preparation means preparing your character. Most people say, I hope nothing goes wrong. But you say, if something goes wrong, I will still remain myself. This is not anxiety. This is readiness. This is not fear. This is inner command. When you quietly rehearse patience before insult, courage before uncertainty, and calm before pressure, life loses the power to ambush you. You are no longer a person begging the day to be gentle. You become a person strong enough to remain steady, even when the day is not. Now imagine holding a heavy stone in your hand. That stone is every worry you cannot control. What people think, what they choose, what already happened, what might happen next year, the economy, the past, the outcome. Most people carry this stone everywhere and call it responsibility. But it is not responsibility, it is self-torture. Epictetus began his teaching with one simple truth: some things are up to us, and some things are not. Simple words. But if you truly live them, your entire life changes. Most people give their best energy to things outside their control, then give their weakest energy to their own actions. But you reverse this. You stop asking, how do I make them understand me? And start asking, how do I speak with clarity? You stop asking, how do I guarantee success? And start asking, how do I act with discipline? You stop asking, how do I avoid pain? And start asking, how do I meet pain without losing myself? This is not detachment from life. This is devotion to what is yours. Your effort is yours. Your honesty is yours. Your discipline is yours. Your reaction is yours. Your integrity is yours. The rest is borrowed weather. Let it pass. When worry rises, ask one question: is this mine to control? If the answer is no, release it. Not because you do not care, but because you care too much about your soul to waste it on chains you cannot break. If the answer is yes, act. Do the next right thing. Send the message. Apologize. Prepare. Rest. Train. Speak. Walk away. But do not sit in the fire of imagination and call it wisdom. If you feel this, think about your mind like a room. Every headline, every argument, every jealous comparison, every toxic conversation, every angry video, every endless scroll enters that room and leaves something behind. Most people wonder why they feel anxious, but they never examine what they keep consuming. They open the door to noise all day, then expect silence at night. But you cannot feed the mind chaos and expect it to produce peace. Seneca warned us to spend time with people who improve us. In the modern world, this means more than people. It means everything you allow into your attention. Your feed is company. Your screen is company. The voices you replay are company. Most people protect their phones better than they protect their minds. But you protect your mind like a temple. You unfollow what makes you bitter. You limit what makes you reactive. You stop confusing being informed with being invaded. You do not need to know every opinion. You do not need to carry every crisis. You do not need to compare your quiet progress to someone else's staged performance. This is not ignorance. This is sovereignty. This is not avoidance. This is wisdom. A calm mind is not an empty mind. It is a guarded mind. And here is the part most people miss. Worry needs fuel. If you keep feeding it with noise, it grows teeth. But when you starve it, when you choose silence, wisdom, reflection, and presence, worry begins to weaken. You start hearing your own voice again. You start noticing what you actually feel, what you actually value, what you actually need to do. The world becomes loud, but you become selective. And the person who controls attention controls peace. Now think about the end of your day. Most people fall asleep with a screen in their hand and confusion in their chest. They do not close the day, they collapse into the next one. But the Stoics practiced daily reflection. Seneca would examine his day at night, asking what he had done, what he had said, where he had improved, where he had failed. Not to punish himself, to train himself. This is one of the most powerful habits, because unexamined days become repeated patterns. What you refuse to review, you are likely to repeat. Most people say, "I had a bad day," and leave it there. But you ask, what made it bad? Where did I abandon myself? Where did I act with courage? Where did I let fear lead? This is not self-criticism. This is self-leadership. A warrior studies the battlefield. A wise person studies the day. When you reflect, you turn pain into information. You turn mistakes into instruction. You turn regret into maturity. At night, ask 3 quiet questions. What did I do well today? Where did I lose control of myself? What will I practice tomorrow? Keep it simple. Keep it honest. Do not dramatize. Do not shame yourself. Just see clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not to impress the world, but to remain awake inside his own life. You can do the same, and slowly, your mind stops feeling like a crowded room. It becomes a place of order, a place of truth, a place where worry cannot hide without being noticed. Subscribe if this helps. Now imagine something painful happens. A relationship ends. A door closes. Someone betrays you. A plan fails. Most people do not only suffer from what happened, they suffer from arguing with what happened. They replay it, resist it, curse it, ask why it was not different. But the Stoics practiced something deeper than acceptance. They practiced loving fate, Amor, Fati, not because everything feels good, but because everything can be used. Most people say, "This should not have happened to me," but you learn to say, "This happened. Now how can I use it?" This is not pretending pain is beautiful. This is refusing to let pain be wasted. Marcus Aurelius said that what stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is not outside the path. The obstacle is the path. That rejection may train your independence. That failure may train your humility. That betrayal may train your discernment. That delay may train your patience. That loss may reveal what cannot be taken. This is not weakness. This is alchemy. This is not surrender. This is power. When you stop demanding that life match your script, you become available to reality, and reality, even when harsh, can shape you into someone deeper. Most people break because they believe pain is proof that life is against them, but you begin to see pain as material, not punishment, material, something to build with, something to learn from, something to rise through. When life hurts, breathe and say, "This too belongs to my path." Then ask, "What is this teaching me? What strength is this asking from me? What part of me must now awaken?" The moment you ask that, you are no longer only a victim of events. You become a student of fate, and a person who can learn from everything cannot be defeated by ordinary pain. Think now about the future. How many times has tomorrow stolen today from you? You were eating, but your mind was worrying. You were speaking to someone you love, but your mind was elsewhere. You were safe, breathing, alive, but your thoughts were living in a disaster that had not arrived. Most people do not live their lives. They rehearse their fears. But Marcus Aurelius gave a direct command: confine yourself to the present, not because the future does not matter, but because the present is the only place where your power exists. Most people try to solve the whole future in one night, but you return to this breath, this step, this task, this moment. The future cannot be handled all at once. It can only be met moment by moment with the same reason and courage you have now. This is not passivity, this is precision. When you are present, you see clearly. When you see clearly, you act wisely. When you act wisely, fear loses its theater. Ask yourself throughout the day, where am I? Not physically, mentally. Am I here, or am I lost in what if? Feel your feet. Notice your breath. Listen to the room. Return to the body. Return to now. Worry hates presence because presence exposes the truth. Right now, most of the monsters are not here. Right now, there is a cup in your hand, a floor beneath you, air entering your lungs, a choice in front of you, and that is enough. This is not small. This is sacred. The person who can return to the present can return to power. Again and again. No matter how many times the mind runs away, bring it back. That is the practice. That is the training. That is the quiet victory. Nobody sees, but everyone eventually feels in your presence. If this resonates, comment peace. Now here is a habit most people avoid: voluntary discomfort. Most people build their lives around comfort, then panic when discomfort arrives. They avoid hunger, cold, rejection, boredom, effort, silence, and inconvenience. Then when life forces discomfort on them, they feel betrayed. But Seneca, even though he was wealthy, practiced simple living. He would eat plain food, wear rough clothing, and ask, "Is this what I feared?" He trained with discomfort, so he would not be enslaved by comfort. Most people think comfort makes them safe, but too much comfort makes the soul fragile. You become afraid of losing what you never truly needed, but you practice small discomforts to remember your strength. Wake up early. Take the harder path. Skip the unnecessary indulgence. Sit in silence without reaching for your phone. Exercise when your mood says no. Have the honest conversation. Do the difficult task first, not to punish yourself, to prove to yourself that you are not ruled by appetite. This is not suffering. This is freedom. This is not harshness. This is preparation. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you send a message to your nervous system: I can handle more than I thought. And when real hardship comes, you do not meet it as a stranger. You have trained, you have practiced, you have walked through small storms, so the larger storms do not erase you. Most people fear discomfort because they think it means something is wrong. But you begin to see discomfort as a forge, a place where weakness burns away, a place where identity is remade. You are not the person who needs everything perfect to be okay. You are the person who can remain steady when things are inconvenient, uncertain, and difficult. That identity alone destroys half of your worries. And finally, the habit that changes everything: live by virtue, not results. Most people worry because they attach their peace to outcomes. Will they approve? Will I succeed? Will I be chosen? Will this work? Will I be admired? But outcomes are never fully yours. So when your identity depends on them, your peace will always feel unsafe. The Stoics taught that the only true good is virtue. Wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control In simple words, live well, act rightly, and let the outcome be what it is. Most people ask, did I win? But you ask, did I act with honor? Most people ask, did they like me? But you ask, was I truthful? Most people ask, did I look successful? But you ask, did I live with courage? This is not lowering your ambition. This is purifying it. You can still build, create, love, strive, and succeed, but you stop offering your soul as payment for applause. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That is a complete life philosophy. Before you speak, ask if it is true. Before you act, ask if it is right. Before you chase something, ask if it is worthy of the person you are becoming. When virtue becomes your compass, worry loses its throne. Because even if the world misunderstands you, you can still respect yourself. Even if the result disappoints you, your character remains intact. Even if you fail with dignity. And dignity is a kind of victory no one can take. This is where true peace begins, not when life finally gives you everything you want, but when you become someone you can trust in every condition. You trust yourself to respond. You trust yourself to learn. You trust yourself to endure. You trust yourself to remain honest, disciplined, courageous, and kind. That trust is the end of constant worry. So remember this, you are not weak because you worry. You are human, but you are not meant to be ruled by every thought that enters your mind. You are not meant to live as a prisoner of imagined futures. You are not meant to give your peace to people, outcomes, screens, memories, and fears that were never worthy of holding it. You are not alone. You are rare. Because while most people keep running from themselves, you are learning to return. While most people chase control, you are learning command. While most people drown in noise, you are building silence. While most people collapse under uncertainty, you are becoming someone who can stand inside it calmly. Worry may visit you again. Let it visit. But do not let it rule. Overthinking may knock at the door. Let it knock. But do not build it a throne. You now have the habits. Prepare for difficulty. Control what is yours. Guard your mind. Reflect daily. Love fate. Return to the present. Practice discomfort. And live by virtue. These are not just habits, they are armor for the soul. If this helped, like the video, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and comment this one sentence: I choose peace over control.